Greetings, viewers, NYC Resistance. If you live in the New York City area, you probably know by now how hard it is to get gas. You gotta wait online for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours just to get a few gallons of regular, low-grade gasoline. And when you reach the cashier, you're not even guaranteed to get any. So at all the gas pumps throughout New York City, you have the good, sweet NYPD in there keeping order and making sure everything goes smooth. So, I'm at this Queens pump on Metropolitan, and I noticed that this cop was just lingering around. Actually, when I first got here, I overheard him talking to somebody, and it made me get real suspicious. But let me kind of narrate what's going on here. See, that black car just pulled in, and you see the cop, talking to the motorist. And a couple seconds later, the car reverses back out, makes a U-turn, and parks across the street. And I just showed you how the line looks on the other side of the block. It stretches back as far as the eye can see. I waited maybe 2 to 3 hours, just to get some low-grade gas that's making my car cackle. And so you see that cop right there. He's pretty much set up shop on pump number 1 under the guise of keeping order at the gas station. That guy just pulled up, had a brief conversation with him, and he's now parked across the street waiting. Let's use our common sense. We know what he's waiting for. He's waiting to be called over to jump the line and not have to wait like all the sheep on the other side. So you're gonna see the cop use his flashlight to signal him to come over and pull into pump number 1, bypassing the 3-hour wait on the other side of the block. Nobody's the wiser. You see, we all trust the NYPD and our public officials and anybody in a suit or a uniform to do the right thing, but this is how it really is. You gotta sit in your car for hours waiting to get gas, but if you got enough money or the right people, you don't gotta wait. Life is just hard for some of us, not all of us. So you got this person, Connecticut plates on his car. He didn't have to wait 5 minutes to get gas, while the rest of us are waiting hours. We just tack that onto our day now. If you work 8 hours at work, now you gotta be in a gas line for another 2, 3, or 4 hours, just to fill your gas tank up, just so you could do it again the next day. See? Now he goes over there. Look at a sneaky little demon. Doesn't even want to get caught talking to him. Side deals. How many NYPD cops we know that work in Connecticut? Because I know a lot of y'all are gonna start making excuses. What's going on? Hey, these are the people that keep us safe. So what if, they, maybe he's a cop and he's making him jump the line? I mean, come on. It's not emergency vehicles. At every precinct, they have their own gas pumps. Fire stations, for the fire trucks, they have their own gas pumps. That's why when you pull into a gas station, you never see an emergency vehicle. You never see a police car. You never see a fire truck, because they have their own gas pumps. These gas stations are for citizens, for regular people, doctors, lawyers. See, now he's, retail, store clerk, garbage man, anybody. See, now he's making another side deal. Another person pulls up, and he's telling them where to park so they could bypass the line. And the poor fool that's waiting around the corner, I was one of them. You got to worry about, are they going to have gas when I get to the gas pump? You're burning gas to get gas, because, it's freezing out there. It's 30 degrees. You got to run your car, every now and then to stay warm. And then you're not even guaranteed if you're going to get gas, and then you might not even make it home. And that's going to be somebody's reality tonight, because little do they know, on the other end, you have The NYPD that are supposed to be there to keep order, making side deals with people from Pennsylvania now. See, this Pennsylvania plate. Making side deals with them to skip the line and get gas. These cops are making money off of this crisis. They ain't doing this out the goodness of their heart. That's a Connecticut plate, got a Pennsylvania plate across the street, and people that live here in New York City can't get gas. See? It's calling somebody else in. You see that white truck across the street? And this is a totally separate line from the line that everybody else has to wait in. Everybody else is totally oblivious to what's going on because we just blindly trust anybody in uniform. Now we got this gas ration crap. You think Mayor Bloomberg with his private helicopter, you think the gas rations apply to him? You think it, just like it doesn't apply to these officers right here, it doesn't apply to Mayor Bloomberg. But everybody's just following the laws blindly, like sheep. Wow, man. I feel like such a fool for waiting in that line, man. I should just drove in, pulled up at the gas station, and just pump my fuel. See? He's doing it again. They're doing good business on this corner. They're doing real good business. Making a lot of side money right here. I don't want to hear nothing. A lot of you people got Stockholm syndrome. Person in a suit or a uniform, they could do anything, and you'll justify it. See, now you got this black SUV making a U-turn like all the rest. He's gonna go park across the street and wait to be called into gas pump number 1. And notice that cop, he doesn't move from the vicinity of pump number 1. He ain't going nowhere because he could care less about what's going on in the rest of the gas station. It could be getting held up right now inside, and he wouldn't be the wiser. All he's concerned with is making his side deals on pump number 1 right here. I mean, that's why I call them criminals. I don't call them criminals because, I want to sling mud or I want to do some childish name calling. I call them criminals because that's what they are, folks. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's stop and frisk. It doesn't matter if it's drug dealing. It doesn't matter if it's prostitution or selling gas. If they see $1 to be made, they're gonna make it. You know what I mean? That's why they want you disarmed, so you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? See, this is gas right now. Can you imagine if this is food? I mean, it'd be a whole nother ball game. They be having you lined up at the Pathmark or the Costco's or the BJ's, wherever you buy food from. They'll have you lined up like sheep on one end, and then around the corner they're filling up their trunks with all the chicken and steak and rice and vegetables and fruit and everything like that. And by the time you get inside the store, you'll be lucky if you get a can of beans. That's how it's gonna be. You watch. When your good peace prize winning Barack Obama, when he declares war and goes to war with Iran and they close the Strait of Hormuz, and then like right now what you're seeing is artificial gas scarcity. This is all a beta test. Gas is not really this scarce. If they wanted every single gas station to have gas, they would all have gas. But they're testing us. How much will we deal with? How much will we put up with? Will we really follow these ridiculous rules? Will we really have comply with gas rationing, where if your plate has an even number, you can get gas on this day. If your car has a license plate has a odd number, you'll get gas on another day. Will you really go along with that? And it turns out that people will go along with anything here in New York City because we're so used to being told what to do. We're so used to complying because first of all, we're all disarmed. We don't even know how to defend ourselves. So when you can't defend yourself, that means you can't even defend your rights. You can't defend anything. So this is all a beta test using artificial crisis, making it look like gas is scarce and it's hard to get here. Come on, they refuel planes in the sky, and you're gonna tell me you can't get gas to a city that has almost been the inner city, like boroughs like the Bronx and parts of Queens and certain parts have been untouched by Hurricane Sandy. You know what I'm saying? But they try to make it look like, there's big craters and bridges have been destroyed. They're making it seem like an asteroid hit and the whole city's in total rubble, and you need, special vehicles like that haven't been invented yet to get fuel to the gas stations, which is absurd. The real crisis is going to come when Barack Obama says, "Hey, we're at war with Iran," and they just close the Strait of Hormuz, and the oil can't get through. It can't flow freely. So then the gas prices start going up. You remember the gas stations started raising their prices because of tension, with Iran and the U.S. and Israel, and they started, raising their gas prices because war was looming. It's all right when the companies do it. It's not called price gouging then. But if a little small gas station does it, little guy that owns his own little gas station, when he starts raising the prices because it's now harder for him to get gas, now he gets hit with a $10,000 fine for price gouging. You know what I'm saying? But when the big companies do it because Iran might close the Strait of Hormuz, it's not gas gouging or price gouging, and that's just fine. You know what I'm saying? There's laws for us, the little man, and then there's laws for them. They get away with anything. Just like what you're seeing, depicted right here at this gas station. You see the common folk lined up like sheep around the corner, and then you see the system. You see agents of this system, of this tyrannical, ruthless, corrupt system, just totally oblivious to the gas shortage that we have to accept. Is this affecting their lives when they're waiting 5 minutes for gas? It's not affecting their lives whatsoever. It's only affecting us that are waiting 3 and 4 hours. And it hurts that so many people are willing to go along with it. That's the reason why they do this to us so much, because so many people are willing to get away with it. That's all right. These people they keep us safe. You always making excuses for them. And then some people say, "Hey, who you gonna call when you need help?" The reason I have to call you is because you're infringing on my right to bear arms. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a criminal. I don't have no felonies, no misdemeanors, but you make it hard for me to own a firearm, which is allowed me by the Second Amendment in the Constitution. But they infringe upon that right now. They want to disarm everybody. This is what you're going to have to look forward to. You're going to have to look forward to the cops keeping you from what you need to survive. You see what I'm saying? And just think for a second. An empty gas tank is nothing compared to an empty stomach. If they'll do this with gas, can you imagine what they'll do with food? They'll hoard it for themselves. There'll be nothing for you. Nothing. You'll be lucky if you get a stale loaf of bread. Seriously. So, listen, I could go on and on about this corruption. I've been trying to warn you about these people. All I got to say is our founding fathers, they warned us about this. They said if you give up your freedom and your liberty for the promise of safety and security, you'll have neither. You won't have freedom, you won't have liberty, and you won't have safety, and you won't have security. Benjamin Franklin, he warned us about that in his famous quote. So yeah, right now they want to take your guns. They on CNN they got somebody running around with an AK-47 with a ski mask on. In my opinion, it's probably an FBI agent. Running around with an AK-47 so they could ban assault rifles, because the police and the government, they're the only ones that want to have high-powered weapons. They've been hoarding bullets. They bought over 1 billion bullets. That's 3 bullets for every man, woman, and child in America. They're hoarding bullets, but if you hoard anything, if you hoard food, water, anything, you're crazy. You're a prepper. You're preparing for something that's never going to happen. Now look, here we are waiting 4 hours for gas. And people are like, and now it's been cut down to 1.5 hours, and on the news, they're calling it a miracle. Aren't you thankful that you only have to wait 1.5 hours for gas now? And then people are like, yes, it's great, it's wonderful. It went from pulling right into a gas station and filling up to being grateful to wait 1.5 hours for gas. Look how easily we can be trained. Look how easily the human mind could be trained to accept tyranny and slavery. It's sad, man. It's sad that there's so few of us. If it wasn't for like the people that write me on YouTube here, on Facebook and Twitter, I would think all is lost, man. It's sad and it's pitiful and it's disgusting. And this isn't just an isolated incident. This is going on in gas stations all throughout New York City. all throughout New York City. I was at another gas station in the Bronx on 238 in Carpenter, and I seen sanitation workers pull up in their sanitation cars. Also, they have their own gas pumps to fill up their vehicles, and he had a jug, his own little jug that he hopped out his car and filled it up for his own private car. You know, and y'all might make up excuses. Oh, he works for the city. They keep the city going and this and that. Hey, we all keep the city going. Everybody who works here. It doesn't matter if you work in a hospital, you work in a bakery, you a store, retail, answering the phone. You're just as important as any other human being that gets up and goes to work in the morning. These people are no better than you. They're doing the job that they chose to do. Nobody asked them or begged them to do it. They wanted to do it. So when they're off work, they become just like anybody else. Okay? If you want to be a cop and you want a perk is a hot coffee and a donut, you know, from the local bakery. You know, not commandeering a gas pump while people are waiting for 4 hours for gas. All right, guys, I'm going to leave y'all with this, right? What we have here is we have basically the NYPD police officers robbing us of our time, robbing us of our fuel. This is preventing people from getting gas that legitimately waited online for it patiently like they were supposed to. All right? Now, let's put something in perspective now. Last night, I was watching the news, and they said that Iran fired missiles at a United States drone, Predator drone, that was unarmed. You know, first of all, how were the Iranians supposed to know that the drone was unarmed? Were they supposed to get close enough to see the Hellfire missiles on the wings? You know, what that's all about is they want war with Iran. And when war starts between the U.S., Israel, and Iran is going to close the Strait of Hormuz. That's a waterway that a lot of oil tankers traffic through. If they close that water passage, fuel prices are going to skyrocket here. You're going to see $10 a gallon gas. People aren't going to be able to afford that. The trucks that deliver food to the supermarkets are going to have to raise their prices to compensate for the increase in fuel prices. If that happens, you're going to see, instead of seeing 4-hour waits at the gas stations, you're going to see 6-hour waits at the gas stations and 8-hour waits at the supermarkets. And you better believe that the NYPD are going to be on the other end, making sure that their people, their friends, their family, and whoever can afford it gets all the chicken, all the steak, all the rice, all the fruits and vegetables. And by the time you get in there, you'll be lucky if you get a stale loaf of bread or a can of beans. That's what's going to happen now if we don't all stand up in one voice and say, hey, the gig is up. It's all over. This whole safety and security hoax is done. 9/11 was a hoax to get us into this police state crap where they control everything. You know, and it's already started. They want to ration our fuel. Next thing you know, they're gonna want to ration our food, and a lot more. 5 years ago, would you have thought it would be illegal to buy a 32 ounce of soda? Well, it's illegal now. It's law now. You see what I'm saying? So we have to stop believing that certain things can't happen. It can and it will happen if we keep on allowing it to.